Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be ranking every palace in Persona 5 Royal. Now unfortunately I don't have a capture card, so I'll only be showing you screenshots. But with that said, I hope you enjoy this ranking. At last place, we have Okumura's Palace. This palace does not have anything special to it. All the puzzles there are pretty boring in my opinion. It was fun when encountering Haru, aka the beauty thief, but after that there's nothing special. The music is just okay, but it's one of the lamer palace themes in my opinion. The boss fight, in my opinion, is just too infuriating for my liking. I like challenging bosses, but that is just too hard. The worst part about that boss is the timer still continues during the dialogue. The part where Black Mask kills Okumura is really scary and would lead up to an iconic cutscene. But all the flaws make Okumura's palace in the bottom of all the palaces. At 8th place, we have Kanashiro's Palace. Much like Okumura's Palace, I felt like this palace puzzles were not that special. I'm also not a big fan of the music. The boss battle is fun, and overall more enjoyable than Okumura boss fight. Overall, this palace would be equal to Okumura's Palace. However, this palace introduced Makoto Nijima, one of my favorite characters in the game, giving this palace an edge over Okumura's Palace. At 7th place, we have the Depths of Mementos. I really enjoy the puzzles. The cutscenes are also fun to watch, and it is nice to see those villains again. The music too, it's really good. I enjoy the music. The Holy Grail boss fight was also a lot of fun. But at the same time, the cutscenes, they're really scary. Watching everyone get ejected out of Metaverse is really scary as well. This would lead up to the Metaverse merging with the real world, and a Phantom Thieves straight up getting Thanos, which is really shocking. The lead up to the Holy Grail rematch is also great, as we met Lavenza and the real Igor. The boss Galdabob is also a really fun boss. The cutscene where Mishima and the Confidant sure for the Phantom Thieves is also one of my favorite cutscenes in the game. The awakening of Joker's ultimate persona, Satanael, and killing the god with his sinful shell, that is really awesome. I really enjoyed it, but there are indeed better palaces, which will put 7th place an appropriate spot. At 6th place, we have Shido's Palace. That palace has a lot of stuff going on. I really enjoy the puzzles and escaping the room as mice. The first goal is to get 5 letters of introduction. To get them, you need to encounter different shadows and fight them. Those mini boss battles are really fun for me. The best of the 5 in my opinion is the Cleaner. After defeating them is not the end, though. After the Cleaner fight, we fight Goro Akechi. He reveals his second persona and his power to create psychotic breakdowns. Defeating him is not the end though. Goro would reveal his true form and make himself go psychotic. His boss fight is easily the best mini-boss fight in my opinion. Unfortunately, Goro would sacrifice himself and confront the cognitive Goro after knowing that Shido was going to kill him. The Phantom Thieves would then send their calling card, and it is by far the best calling card. Hearing Joker talk is amazing. After the calling card, seeing Shido and his group's reactions is really funny. The Shido boss fight is one of the best boss battles in the game. The final phase is a one-on-one battle between Joker and Shido, and the battle is really fun. After the battle, Shido tries to kill the Phantom Thieves by drinking a potion, but the Phantom Thieves survive after sacrificing Ryuji. It is really sad, but it turned out that he survived. There are a lot of things going on in that palace, and I really enjoyed everything, not to mention that the music is amazing. All of this would easily put this palace in 2nd place. However, the cutscene where the girls senselessly beat up Ryuji and ditch him after he saved their lives single-handedly drops this palace in 6th place. That is by far the worst cutscene in the game. At 5th place, we have Futaba's Palace. This palace has a lot of creative puzzles. Futaba, using the name Alibaba, would ask the Phantom Thieves to change her heart. The palace shows her fears after her mom, Wakaba, died. Her story is really sad, but also really interesting, as she thought that she was the main reason for Wakaba's death. However, Futaba would face her shadow and learn that Wakaba was actually killed. Speaking of Futaba's shadow, she would give hints to the Phantom Thieves. However, she would also trap them, causing a lot of trouble. After reaching the end, the Phantom Thieves would fight not Futaba, but Wakaba. That is when Futaba would awaken her persona and become the navigator. I had a lot of trouble with the Wakaba boss fight. That is until I learned that Ryuji was a bad idea. You see, Wakaba uses a lot of wind attacks, and Ryuji is weak to wind. So once I got rid of him, the boss fight is really good. The palace theme is also very good, and I enjoyed the boss battle. Overall, the palace is a pretty basic. However, this palace does not contain boring puzzles like Okumura and Kanashiro's palace, nor does it contain awful cutscenes like Shido's palace. All of this would put 5th place an appropriate spot. At 4th place, we have Madarame's palace. This palace is really fun and creative. The paintings are really nice puzzles. Trying to guess the real Sayuri is really fun. The part where we get to see Madarame's room and Yusuke's awakening is also really awesome. The music is also really good. Madarame stealing the real Sayuri and letting Yusuke's mom die is really dark and reveals his true nature. The boss battle is pretty fun as well. Fighting the paintings and Madarame's clones is a really creative idea. This palace overall is a lot of fun, and I really enjoy the music and the puzzles in this game. All of this would put this palace in 4th place. At 3rd place, we have Kamoshida's palace. This is the very first palace you encounter. Joker and Ryuji accidentally enter the palace when they thought it was the school. They get put into a dungeon, and Kamoshida shows up and sentences them to death. Just as he is about to kill them, Joker awakens his persona and stops the shadows. This is one of the best cutscenes in the game, and Kamoshida's reaction makes this even funnier. They later encounter Mona, who becomes a companion to Joker and the Phantom Thieves. Ryuji's awakening is also really awesome. The part where Shiho commits suicide attempt is one of the darkest moments in the game. This causes Anne to join the boys and soon awaken her persona. So far, this does an excellent job as a first palace. The puzzles are really creative and the music is also really good. The boss battle honestly is really basic and a bit on the easier side. But this makes sense because he's the first boss. And for the first boss, that is a really fun boss. Overall, I really enjoyed the palace and it did an excellent job as the first palace. At 2nd place, we have Sei's Palace. This palace is the prologue of the game. You try to escape the palace, only to get caught by the police and get beaten up. In Royal, you also get to fight the shadows along with Kasumi, which is an incredible addition. Going back to the past, the Phantom Thieves got their reputation ruined due to Okumura's mental shutdown. Goro Akechi confronts them and blackmails them by telling them to change Sei's heart. They would go into the palace, which is a casino. Before we talk about the plot, I just want to say the music is incredible. Whims of Fate is the best palace theme, in my opinion. Going back to the palace, Sei confronts them, and we have to fight a shadow. That is when Goro becomes playable, and he is a lot of fun to play. After defeating the shadow, you are allowed to enter the casino. You have many fun puzzles to earn coins. However, the shadows would cheat. We even have to face quote-unquote 1v1 boss battles against multiple shadows using only Joker. But once we get through all of that, we'll be able to earn 100,000 coins from the slot machine. However, Sei would increase the coin counter to 1,000,000 coins. However, Goro was 2 steps ahead and used another card that has 900,000 coins, outsmarting the system. All those puzzles are fun. The boss battle takes place on a roulette, which we would start betting. Sei would continue to cheat by having a glass on a color we would bet, so she would win. Once we expose her cheating, she will transform, and the roulette will contain elements she would use. Once we defeat her, it is back to the prologue. In the interrogation room, it is revealed that Goro is the traitor. However, we would outsmart him by having him go to the cognitive world and kill the cognitive Joker, assuming you don't sell out your friends and get a bad ending like I did. Overall, this palace is incredible with its puzzles and its music. However, there is one palace that is better. The best palace in Persona 5 Royal, in my opinion, is Maruki's Palace. We would actually discover this palace in the middle of Okumura arc. There we would see Kasumi confronting her cognitive sister. That is when she would awaken her persona and battle the shadow. After that, we won't see that palace again until January. At that time, a lot of unusual stuff was going on. Wakaba, Okumura, and Makoto's dad are back to life, and Mona is a human. The only ones who are in their right frame of mind are Joker, Goro, and Kasumi. They would enter the palace and try to find out the ruler. During this time, we can play as Kasumi again and Black Mask Goro with Loki for the first time. I loved the royal trio, and I wished if it lasted longer. However, there were videos regarding Kasumi's backstory. We would then encounter the ruler, who turned out to be none other than Takuto Maraki. He would show a video that reveals that Kasumi is actually Sumire. After fighting a shadow with only Joker and Goro, we were given a week to witness the reality we were living in. After a week, we would confront Maraki again. Denying the reality would result in a boss fight against Sumire. That boss fight is really sad for me because I felt bad for hitting her. After defeating her, we would fight against her persona. During that time, the Phantom Thieves would come to their senses and join the battle. Once it's over, we have until February 3rd to stop him. It is revealed that Maraki is actually a persona user. Sumi would also come to her senses and join the Phantom Thieves. The palace has really awesome puzzles. It also has questions, and we want to pick what Maraki wants us to pick. In the palace, we would also see footage of Marki's backstory that inspired him to change reality. There is also another section of the palace that has puzzles that ask for color patterns. The music there is also phenomenal. I really enjoyed the puzzles, music, and the mini-boss battles in that palace. Sumi and Marki's backstory is really emotional. However, it is time to send the calling card. Before that, Maraki tries to convince us to accept his reality once more, this time saying that he brought back Goro. Assuming you don't accept Marki's reality, you would send the calling card and enter the palace. Before I talk about the boss battle, I just want to say I absolutely love the music. During the Maraki boss battle, we would battle against his persona as a thought. That battle is a lot of fun, and it is also funny that he continues to convince the Phantom Thieves to accept his reality, which they would deny. In the second phase, Maraki would create restrictions, making the battle challenging but enjoyable. During third phase, Maraki would evolve his persona. That is also really fun. In the penultimate phase, Maraki would go inside his persona, and his persona would punch the ground and deal a lot of damage. That is my least favorite phase, but the part where the party members block his attack and Joker fires a bullet is awesome. The battle is over, but everyone is stuck. That is when Mona turns into a helicopter and saves them. However, Maraki would still want to fight Joker. Because the metaverse is disappearing, Maraki knew he would lose. However, he wants to kill his regrets and goes into a fist fight with Joker. This fight is the most emotional fight in my opinion. After the fight, Maraki was prepared to die. However, Joker would save him and bring him back to the real world. There is a lot of stuff going on in this palace, but all of that is incredible. The music is also phenomenal, and Joker saving Maraki kinda made me cry. I love this palace more than any other palace in this game. Not only is this the best boss battle in the game, but we also had Sumi and Goro, which made the arc even more better. All of this is the main reason why Maraki's palace is the best palace in Persona 5 Royal. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, then hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Other than that, I hope I can see you next time on my next video. Thank you for watching.